I, the machine, show you a world the way only I can see it. I free myself for today and forever from human immobility. I'm in constant movement. I approach and pull away from objects, recording one movement after another in the most complex combinations. Freed from the boundaries of time and space, I coordinate any and all points of the universe, wherever I want them to be. My way leads towards the creation of a fresh perception of the world. The camera, more specifically the film camera, as a machine, has presented us with the ability to create non-place, and present it as experience. In the early 1920s, Russian filmmakers developed a theory using the term montage to describe the way of editing film. Lev Kuleshov led the way in film montage, developing filmic experiments which used this technique. The Kuleshov effect, or the juxtaposition of shots and joining together various pieces of film, could create new meaning. Another Russian filmmaker, and one of Kuleshov's students, Sergei Eisenstein, pushed the boundaries of this even further, using the technique to make collisions between shots, as seen in the Odessa Steps sequence in Battleship Potemkin, released in 1925. What this technique does is create extreme emotion and tonal narrative, revealing something greater than merely the sum of its parts. Through the use of film montage, filmmakers are also able to create a new spatial understanding. Eisenstein calls this the filmic dimension, the creation of a new place through the assembly of shots from a multiplicity of physical places. As Mitchell Schwarzer states in his book Zoomscapes, because of such discontinuities in time and space, motion pictures transform our understanding of place. Diverse buildings, cities, and landscapes are assembled into hybrid locales that exist only in celluloid. Schwarzer also states that in watching the movie, we engage the era during which the film was made and those it depicts. A non-place might be created by shooting a scene in England that is supposed to be in France, or by overlapping time periods through narrative. Other examples of these non-place dimensions can be found in films which generate generic or generalized settings. Pulp Fiction and its nondescript city backdrop could be occurring nearly anywhere in the English-speaking world. The fascinating thing about this non-place is the emotional and mental space shaped by its existence. As Gianni Palazzotta states in his book, The Architecture of Image, cinema constructs spaces in the mind, creates mind spaces, thus reflecting the inherent ephemeral architecture of the human mind, thought and emotion. The mental task of buildings and cities is to structure our being in the world and to articulate the surface between the experiencing self and the world. This element of cinema manifests within film in many ways, however. This territory of non-place is of particular interest because it allows us to escape into films. In Woody Allen's film, The Purple Rose of Cairo, the main character, Cecilia, uses the theater in this way. Her trips to the movies provide her with a way to escape her drunkard husband, the loss of her job, and a luckless, Depression-era America. As she's watching, the main character of the film walks out of the screen and speaks directly to her. They proceed to have a romance only found in the movies, leaving the rest of the characters in the screen to fend for themselves and making Cecilia question which part of this is real life. In the end, she is left heartbroken, only to find her way back to the movies to escape, yet again, into a film. There is a moment when watching a film becomes a participatory act, though not quite as literally as Cecilia did. When viewer becomes participant, he becomes part of the film, wrapped up in what is happening on the screen as if he is hypnotized. Roland Barthes writes about this experience and how it affects the way a viewer experiences space even after leaving the movie theater. He describes this in his essay on the matter titled Leaving the Movie Theater. Back out on the more or less empty, more or less brightly lit sidewalk, it is invariably at night, and during the week, that he goes, and heading uncertainly for some cafe or other, he walks in silence. He doesn't like discussing the film he's just seen, a little dazed, wrapped up in himself, feeling the cold. He's sleepy, that's what he's thinking. His body has become something sportive, soft, limp, and he feels a little disjointed, even for a moral organization. Relief comes only from this quarter irresponsible. In other words, obviously, He's coming out of hypnosis. Barthes goes on to discuss the elements of this kind of experience that contribute to its hypnotic state. In the theater, we experience anonymity, unfamiliarity, and the darkness that lie at the very fascination of the film. He describes the theater as eroticized, that anything less than the traditional theater does nothing for film. So what happens when you take away the theater? When the lights are on and people are talking nearby? You are no longer fixated in the way that the hypnotic cinema hall allowed you to be. There is a new kind of participatory act occurring within the physical space, one where the viewer participates actively. Films like Rocky Horror Picture Show and The Room have cult followings that create moments where this participatory action can occur. Cult classics create a new kind of engagement with the filmic dimension created by the early Russian film theaters. Not only are the films creating new meaning as whole through non-place, they are creating a physical reality of new meaning within the space of the theater as well. It is an independent act where a paradox of anonymity and individuality harness the collective nature of mankind in a relationship that is a testament to the digital age. In a world flooded with image, it is important to remember what is real and what is not. Or, is it?
Maybe you should just turn the projector off.
No, don't turn the projector off. No, it gets black and we disappear. They want to turn the projector off. Don't you understand? We're all in this together. Yes, but you don't understand what it's like to disappear, to be nothing, to be annihilated. So don't turn the projector off.